Down the bottom right-hand corner, the TSI player. In the purple trunks, it's Figaro.
And his opponent across this relatively small map, in the top left, in the orange trunks, representing Forge Force Gaming Pro Team, it's Ziroy.
Pretty appropriate, those orange trunks. Forge Force Gaming, I don't know what that actual team colour is, but I always feel like it's orange.
I see it as kind of rust.
Rust.
Rust. If there is an official team colour, Forge Force members out there, please let us know.
True. I'm pretty overall, what I'm trying to say is I'm pretty happy with the colours of both the players in this matchup.
TSI
purple,
feel blue to me.
TSI are a blue team, but Zerg is a purple race, and I feel like that overrides.
Yeah,
just probably mainly as a Zerg player. Zerg just looks so good in purple.
I feel like Zerg looks quite good in brown as well.
Okay in brown. You know what everyone looks good in? Dark grey, but it's only available in like the larger team games.
Yeah, it's true. Dark
Terran
grey
looks especially good in dark
does
grey.
look good in dark grey. It suits them. It plays to their natural colour scheme of uniform.
Dark grey.
Of uniform, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Ziroy is getting his wall in up. As Figaro just, standard sort of. Actually, no, he's gone pool first, hasn't he? So a little bit unusual, but certainly nothing like completely out of the ordinary. It's not like pool first is unheard of. It's just maybe a little bit safer. And Ziroy's going to scout that it is at least not hatch first. And oh wow, throwing in the bunker just right in vision of that Overlord. Ain't no thing.
He is brave. He's decided, you know what? I don't care. You react, and if you don't react, whatever. So he can just cancel this, to be honest. So like, he's built it, he's going to run away. He's just trying to put on that bit of pressure. If he gets done, it gets done, as long as he doesn't lose too much, like the SCD. I mean, the Reaper right here is already instantly doing damage. He's getting 2 free drones for his trouble just because they've come down off the creep. That's actually really smart. Forcing the drone pull and then basically just dealing with it in situ.
Yeah, very, very nice. He doesn't even have to finish that bunker. He just forces drones to come out of their more protected area. And for what? The cost of the SCV scout, who's probably going to do anyway, and a bunker, which he'll cancel.
Yeah, that said, if, no, you know what, it probably doesn't matter. Because I was going to say if it had been hatch first, then they would have been creeped down. But if you look at the reverse point of that, there probably wouldn't have been links. So
True. I think it would have gone over better for Figaro, for Ziroy if it had been hatch first. Because I still think like it wouldn't quite have been creep. It would have been just very close to completion. But as it is, Figaro plays things very, very safely. It looks like with that spine crawl at the front. Just no. Well, in fairness, he has seen there's no natural yet, but it's just being built on the low ground. There was someone I mentioned yesterday. I think it was Ziroy, who does go for those hatches, for those CCs on the high ground a lot more. And I was wondering whether anyone would proxy hatch him. And also thinking, I wonder if any of the players are watching this and they're going to take my idea and proxy hatch him, and then I can claim it as my own. But it looks like so far that hasn't happened.
so far, but saying that now, maybe someone will run in between the games and just go, "Oh yeah, you know what the casters think." What are the chances? I don't think they're very high.
Maybe, probably not.
Nobody listens to us, and that's okay.
I actually gave some like legitimate, correct advice to one of the players last night.
As opposed to what we were doing when Boombox wanted coaching, and we were just like, "What you need to do is build a dark shrine."
Yeah. No, somebody. It was when Clever Highs was trying to get. GM, and I was coaching him on the finer points of the 8 pool and how no, you couldn't go up to 10 drones and then build an overlord, as one of the other players was suggesting, because then you wouldn't have enough lava for about 10 seconds for the 3 lanes, and I then counted it, and it was like 7.5, 8 seconds, and I said about 10, and I was like, yeah, boom,
yeah,
caster knowledge.
Yeah, it's like the call with the whatever it was I did parties and walls. It was just like,
oh yeah,
yes, I get to be on the team.
It actually was the same.
Play the beer pong.
Yeah, alright.
It's all true.
It's all true. It's all true. Is Ziroy actually just producing off? Huh, that's weird. The helis are coming in one at a time, so I guess he is not synchronizing them both up off the React factory, but it doesn't really matter. I guess he was spending some money on something else. Either way, they're both pretty in sync now, and Ziroy just poking around with 3 Hellions. It's also possible by just sending them in at one time and going in with like 3 Hellions. If he puts in another 3 and stuff, that he's trying to make Figaro think this is Blue Flame Hellion. Where of course you'd have 2 factories, one with the tech lab and one with the reactor, and you'd have Hellions coming out 3 at a time. I don't know whether that's true or not. I feel like you'd still think, oh well, there'd be more Hellions, but I don't know.
More is more. This is actually reminding me of the previous game where Richie didn't build too many Hellions, but of course he's now added in a couple of extras, adding in that Banshee. This is like basically the most straightforward 2cc straight tech path you can get. And of course, it's not 2cc, it's 3cc. I'm glad that that's there because that actually makes a lot more sense.
It does, to a degree. But on the other hand, could end up coming back to bite him. How much has Figaro actually scouted? He has seen... Oh, right, he's got an overlord, like, literally right there. So yeah, he does know about that 3rd CC. 1-1 Roaches, or 1-1 Roach Tech is underway.
Attack opportunity by the Hellions into the
whoa,
natural.
whoa, whoa.
Seeing that there's a little weak spot. Those drones being concentrated a little bit, corralled by the Queen. Hellions getting off a couple of good shots there. Just what they needed. Hopefully, getting a few more. Needs to get those shots lined up properly. I don't think that was as effective as it could have been.
No, I think actually Figaro dealt with that really well. Last second split every single time.
Yeah.
I was just going, oh, ready for the drone barbecue. That never quite came. 8 drones down though, still pretty nice. But it comes at the cost of most of Ziroy's Hellions. But keeping some of them alive at least serves as an early warning system against a potential 1-1 Roach time. But I don't think we're going to see it. But if we were, the Roaches would already be well underway, rather than just the few defensive Roaches Figaro has.
A smattering.
A smattering of Roach. Yeah, no, if he was committing fully to the attack, then it would be like outside the door sometime around now. And maybe it's just delayed, but delaying things means they're weaker, generally.
Often. It does depend on what they are. Sometimes you delay things to make them stronger in the long run, but of course that makes you weaker in the short term. So that is one of the many fine balances that is so inherent to this beautiful game.
Yes. Sometimes you delay things because you screwed up your timing, and then the opponent doesn't expect it, and then you come in and kill them anyway.
That's part of the mind games.
Exactly.
And we did hear Rich talking about the mind games earlier.
Yeah, we did.
The hashtag mind games.
Hashtag mind games. The best kind of games, apart from StarCraft games.
The best games.
The best.
I like that Richie managed to establish, not Richie, Ziroy's managed to establish a 3rd in this game. Getting himself into that economic position, always nice to see when a Terran can kind of get into that state, because against Zerg pressure, you can really struggle with that, as we saw from Richie. But Figaro is just now beginning to amp up his offensive, sending out those units, and there's a lot of Hellions here, but Hellions are not that good on Roaches. It's like one Banshee that's here to defend this, and I don't know how good this is going to be.
There's 3 more Banshees coming home, though, so 4 Banshees will kill off Roaches very, very quickly.
Only if they're fighting them.
Yeah, there's a siege tank in the natural as well. It's going to siege up a good way away from the wall. Should end up going pretty well, but these Roaches are killing off a fair few SCVs while the Banshees aren't chipping away at them. 1-1 Roach is actually pretty good on Banshees kind of thing, because
SCVs,
Banshees have SCVs, but I meant more, not so much good on Banshees as
good at dealing with Banshees.
Not good at dealing with Banshees, good at like just tanking them a bit.
Receiving the impacts.
Point is, Banshees have 2 hits, so they.
Yes. I understood. Yeah, I got your point.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so a big Banshee force really coming out for Zero. I really like that he's gone for a heavy Banshee strategy, because that's so rarely seen. This is that situation where Banshee speed would be good.
Yes, exactly. And it's also exactly the situation, possibly coincidentally, that I'm very glad Banshee speed is not a thing yet.
Yeah, I don't think that's any coincidence. They'll be so strong once they're faster. As for now, Mutas might be an ideal counter. Hydras are actually what we're seeing being produced by Figaro, getting that Hydra speed as well, so they have any chance of catching the Banshees. But Banshees will outrange them for a little while and outspeed them for a little longer.
Yes, absolutely. But speed's on the way for those Hydralisks, and on creep, there's actually not too much of a speed differential between no-speed Hydralisks and Roaches anyway. Roaches are about 4 and Hydras are about like 3 points something, I don't know.
Hellions poking onto the edge of the creep, taking out a couple of tumors as they begin to build. That Banshee cloak going to chase away the queens, but chase away the queen, I should say. But actually, a lot of detection is available here at this point. I don't think that this army is going to survive this. Like, all the Banshees have gone down pretty much straight away. Roach Hydra is so strong for the guy.
Absolutely, with that +1 attack upgrade as well. No defensive upgrades for Ziroy's mech here. He's actually only on this single upgrades, and as great as attack upgrades are for mech, I feel like you really need like a bunch of splash damage or a load more Hellbat tanking to really allow
there just wasn't that.
Thors to do that DPS. Yeah, the Banshee kind of came in from the top while the rest of the army was being killed off, but tried to fight the Hydras on their own rather than chipping away at the Roaches to allow everything else to kill the Hydras, while the Banshees also killed the Hydras at that stage. But Hive just coming up on finished up here for Figaro is going to enable him the access to Vipers he will so desperately want and need against the triple siege tank production of Ziroy.
Absolutely, and blinding. I mean, you need blinding clouds. You want the pulls as well. It's so important to have that battlefield controls in the form of spellcasting.
Yeah, 100%.
Plus, you can get 3/3.
Plus, you can get 3/3. Absolutely, and we're actually going to see the Zerg start their 3/3 before Terran, though not so unusual in a versus mech game. Ziroy, a little bit of a Hellbat run by, is going to damage up this 4th hatchery from Figaro, getting down to a pretty low health count actually. Another like one more run by like that with 5 Hellions maybe, and that's a dead hatchery.
Absolutely, and it was all a bit of a distraction because, I mean, whilst that did take half the health of the hatchery, which will slowly begin to regen it, Ziroy did take a 4th base behind that, which has been seen by the Overlord of Figaro, so he knows very much that that's there. I want to see if he tries to mount some kind of counter-aggression to deal with this, or whether Ziroy will be allowed to take the space unpunished.
It's possible. This will be a difficult location to attack, though, with Planetary Fortress being morphed in on that command center, and it's just generally a tough route. You can't attack it through this area. Like, this is where Ziroy has a billion tanks. The only route is going to be through these rocks, which then he has to break the rocks down on. Although Ziroy doesn't actually have any vision over these rocks, I'd actually really like to see him add on a couple of sense towers, because they're basically map hacks, but in the game. Yeah, it's just going to be tough to attack up here, because if you go through here, you end up getting sandwiched by the mech army between them and the Planetary Fortress. If this is a second Planetary Fortress, then it just buys so much time. So Ziroy's got a pretty established sort of 4 bases here.
Yeah, I thought he might have been in real trouble when he lost that advancing force when he moved out on the map, but he's actually managed to hold on to it. It's going to be quite a big attack. Maybe sieging up a little bit late, but a nice engagement coming from the side as well. Good concave. If all the tanks were firing, this would be perfect, but I think Ziroy being caught on a ramp might have left him at a bit of a disadvantage.
I think so. Well, I mean, the advantage he does have is that these tanks were all spread out in a line, so Figaro had to keep on moving forwards. He has cleaned up most of it, but on the other hand, like, that's most of a mech army trading out for most of a Roach Hydra army.
Zerg can remax, mech does not remax fast.
Exactly, and that's reflecting the supply. Although they lost relatively similar amounts. Figaro now on 165 to 110 because he just got Roaches for days in production, or a few just finished up, coming across from that bag at home, streaming along in to join up with the Vipers. Now, he didn't have any Vipers in that engagement either, and now he's got 4 blinding clouds with that.
Like, suddenly these tanks are going to be so much less effective, essentially. Blinding clouds going down, allowing that access. Ziroy types GG. He knows that he was out of that. I think maybe losing that initial army did do the damage that was required.
It certainly didn't help.
That backing, he might have had a powerful enough army to win that second fight.
Yeah,
in fact, I think almost certainly. But it's always the snowball effect of StarCraft. Any trade you make, any swing, can have knock-on effects for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's tough. But on the other hand, if he doesn't move out, maybe he doesn't pressure Figaro into making enough units, and Figaro gets away with early enough hive that he can get 3/3 too fast. It's all a balance of
no pressure, no need to respond. Got the extra gas, get the extra hive, get on that. Keep it building.
We go on to Cactus Valley for game 2.
It is game number 2. In my head, it's game number 3, but that's just because we've had a lot of TVZ.
We've had quite a bit of TVZ. Not too many approaches in this tournament.
I think there's 2. Azures and Boombox.
Or else does Grimsy play?
Oh, he might be tossed as well.
No, he does.
If anyone knows what race Grimsy is, feel free to let us know in the chat.
Grimsy himself might know.
Grimsy himself.
Although
may
actually,
know.
I wouldn't put him past him not to know.
That's not very nice.
It's alright, it's all banter, mate.
Top band,
Top band.
as you kids might say.
Well, the kids, what might they say? They might say anything. Those crazy kids.
I
just
just,
can't tell
oh my god, my
nowadays.
friend has started saying on fleek. It angers me so much. It's like ream.
Ream. I mean, like ream as
Not
in
like a ream
what the kids
flavour.
say. Yes.
Yeah, not like
It's
ream.
spelled R-E-M.
Yeah,
whereas
R-E-E-M.
R-E-A-M. It's very much not a kid
No,
word.
that's a word that they.
That's a word for adults. Kids aren't allowed to use ream.
unless they.
The other kind of ream.
Yeah.
The one that's in the dictionary.
Yeah. The one that's spelled like room but with ease.
Indeed. So yeah, Figaro needs to be suggested to all the lobbies because it's not actually in the in-game channel, which makes things a little more difficult.
Who are we? Oh, Figaro. Yeah. Damn it, Figaro.
I might just end up adding him just so. Well, yeah, it's game number 2 out of 3, so I guess we could. Might be worth it if it goes to game 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I tend to just add people sometimes anyway. It's like, you know, Friday's list is not a limited capacity.
Yes, it is.
Oh. Well then,
You just don't have enough.
clearly.
But, yeah, they did raise the capacity recently. I think it's like some more 100.
I'm getting
It
confused.
used to be
with
100.
I'm
but
getting confused with Xbox One and this.
Possibly. They
Yes.
are very different, Ben.
They are very different, and yet quite similar in that they are both Microsoft-made machines and run stuff.
Sort of.
The computer's Microsoft. It's got
Did they make it? Did Microsoft make it?
I don't know. It's got Microsoft on it.
Got Microsoft Windows on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
They
sure.
must have made the computer as well.
I reckon so.
How else would it get on there?
That's what I thought.
Mystery to me. But yeah, we're in the lobby of Cactus Valley, just waiting ready up on Ziroy. And then we'll kick things off for game number 2 of TVZ. And Zero's
probably just like doing some bench press as well.
doing some bench presses, getting
I
swallowed.
hear tell that he enjoys his gains, but I base that only on circumstantial evidence.
Yes, and
People-
and a brief discussion about gains and
Yes.
such. Yes,
Which I gain some knowledge, and
that's the wrong kind of gains.
Ah, I've been doing it all wrong again.
Pretty sure that actually loses you gains because it makes you a nerd, and nerds can't get gains.
Oh, true. That's
True
true.
facts.
Damn nerds.
Sorry,
Civilian
come
saying Cladaheiser hype. Yes, he'll be back under the name Gamer Devu.
Give me the or one
Or
day. He actually
Wensleydale.
Wensleydale. He showed me some of his other accounts. He has an account called Gamer Richie as well, just to make things extra confusing. He has so many accounts.
Yes.
I don't know why.
No, neither do I. Like, does he spend money on them and everything?
Yeah. He picked. Apparently, he picked a bunch up when they were on sale. And I was just like, yeah, I've just got 12 accounts now. I was like, dumb.
That is stupid. Does he have one called Warm Dave?
I don't know.
He needs one.
He has one called Sheila Booth.
Okay. I'm not really surprised by that. Well, Cladaheiser aside, let's get into the game and introduce the Zerg who is going to be in this game on Cactus Valley, spawning in at the top right. In the purple. Representing Team SC2 Improve, it's Figaro.
Yes, it is. Down the bottom left, his opponent currently down 1-0. From Forge Force Gaming, the Teal Terran Titan 0.
I thought his name was Titan for a minute.
His name's not Titan, it's 0. That's why I introduced him as 0.
I know, but you said the Teal, Terran, Titan, Ziroy.
Yeah, well, you know what, Ben? Yeah.
Thought so. Sending out that SUV quite
Whoa,
early,
okay.
Ziroy. In fact, quite suspiciously early. For look at what he has built in the middle of the map.
And lo, behold,
And Zerg was kill. For 11 racks was happen.
MVP saw that it was
It's actually
good.
not an 11 racks, it's
No.
14 racks, but in the middle of the map.
Yeah. So,
Absolute lunacy.
it is pretty interesting. 14 racks is actually later than normal.
He's got gas though, do you reckon he might be going
Gas, yeah.
Reapers?
Oh yeah. This is Reapers, but I don't know. Like if you go like a 12-12,
Reapers.
if you go 12-12 Reaper, it's out a whole 2 faster.
True, like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know how much whether that actually cuts down on the time you save by putting your SCV and therefore your racks in the middle of the map.
Do you think that
I presume
maybe?
so. Okay, no, things got interesting now.
Yes, they have.
I didn't actually look at the gas timing. I just said, yeah, that's definitely Reaper.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't see the gas timing go down. I was more just surprised that he was building in the middle of the map. But
This makes a lot more sense now.
Proxy
Because,
Hellion.
Proxy Hellion, I guess so. But if it's Proxy Hellion, I would have thought he'd stop mining gas for the Hellions because he wouldn't need gas unless he's going for a starport as well. Oh my god, he's doing the Moomin build.
He's doing the Moomin build, maybe. The Moomin build is, we watched a game like in 2012. It was a player called Moomin.
It was the WCS, UK WCS
last,
championship.
National
qualifiers.
WCS kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh my god, he can scout! Figaro can scout this! The
Yeah.
links went cross map because he scouted both positions with his Overlord.
Oh, he only now knows this. I
He
can't
can't
believe
use
that
the
works.
reactor, that's so sad.
That is so sad. He's going to get the Marine out to try and deal with this, make sure the reactor isn't attacked. Back at home, Ziroy throwing down that armory as well. Seeing Figaro basically taking a moment to go, you what, mate? And then put down a Roach Warren, as Zergs tend to do in this circumstance. They go for what they know. They play it safe.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
He's going to repair up that armory,
Tech
reactor,
lab.
and yeah, this
That's
is
Tech Lab.
what is it, Marauder Hellion? Hellbat even?
I don't know. I still want it to be Starport, but I don't think we're going to see the Starport at this stage. That would just be so cool.
That would be cool, but silly.
Yes, and this.
I can't abide silliness.
And of course,
This is not looking good though.
no, it isn't. This is looking a bit weak. But 3 Hellions out in. Oh no, 2 Hellions now. Hellbats as well.
Yes.
Going to be able to potentially.
Whoa, Figaro's confident. 5 drones on the way.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's only a couple of Hellions out. There's going to be 2, 3 now. Hellbats added into the mix. Like, this Hellbat is a really, really defensive position, but that doesn't change the fact that across the map there is no expansion going down for Ziroy. Ziroy walling off at the front of his base to assure that he can't just be rushed by the Lings. But I think it's pretty inevitable that is what's going to happen. There are so many outside his front door. They're knocking on that in just a second, and there's almost no defense there. The Hellions will be able to shoot up the ramps, but that's it. That's all that Ziroy really has at home to defend.
Yeah, this is really not a good situation
No.
for a Fofog Charon player. And of all the games, he had to actually listen to me and put that CC on the low ground.
Yeah.
It was the one where he had no defense at home at all, whatsoever, slightly.
A little bit all or nothing, you might say, in that he's very much, I'll play quite defensive, or I will go balls to the wall, low ground expansion, middle of the map production.
Yep.
Why not?
Why?
You can't
not?
stop
And,
me.
I think this might be it. This might be why not. But
Yeah,
he's going
this
to get
is
on top of
why
these
not.
Marauders and take them out. And that's a problem because now he has no way of dealing with the Roaches, which
Yep.
are
They're
out
on their way now.
in force and able to deal with these Hellions. As much as this Hellion has 10 kills, good job there.
Credit to
Mr.
Zero for
Commander
hanging on
Hellion.
for as long as he can, but at the same time, this is not a good position to be in with your production in the middle of the map. Good if you're attacking, bad if you're defending. You do not have the scenery or the walls at all to defend, and the Roaches are going to be picking off more Hellions, not really able to deal with Marauders that effectively. But there's only one of those out, and the Tech Lab's been killed off the barracks.
Yeah, absolutely, and plenty of speedings as well. Figaro very much able to just squeeze in those extra rounds of drones in between his units. By keeping aggressive with these Roaches, he keeps himself a bit more breathing room, removes a bit of the. He doesn't remove a bit of his own defender's advantage, but he can keep Ziroy's units away from him, so that when and if he loses them, he can actually start producing another wave or have another wave on the way, and it makes it much easier to squeeze in those waves of droning around them. But now Ziroy has broken through, and he's having to attack into Figaro. Figaro, what a concave!
What a concave! It's all right as a concave. Concaves go.
It's alright.
I'd probably
I've
rate it
seen
like
better. I've made better concaves in my time.
6 out of 10.
Yeah,
Needs more Roaches.
needs more. Yeah, it does need more Roaches actually, that's fair.
Yeah, I know, see? My criticism was entirely bad. Now actually destroying his own concave, but Ziroy doesn't have one either. Hellions fleeing in the face of the Roach aggression. Baning Nest being added onto this composition as well. So Figaro, I think, has decided that he's had enough of the nonsense of his opponent. He's going to move out and start trying to put the hurt on.
Yes, and
Stim building in the middle of the map. Don't think that's going to last.
I don't think it is. Concussive Shell's finished though, which helps a little bit in escaping from these roaches, but I mean, Concussive Shell's usually good for chasing down, picking off 1 or 2 units when your opponent's retreating, and there's not really just any reason for Figaro to retreat. One would mine out. Is going to get a chance to get a bar off. And
lifts those buildings, gets ready to fly them back home, but the roaches and the lings are going to be chasing down those marauders. They aren't getting away. It's not happening. They're all going to die there. There's emergency bunkers being thrown down. Widowmine takes out a lot of the Zerglings, but even with its 12 kills, isn't going to be able to stop the rest of them. It doesn't instantly regen that missile.
Yeah, absolutely not. And Baneling's on the way as well. The Widowmine's not going to be finished up in time to save this. And I mean, yeah, Ziroy's production's all in the air. His CC's finished now, but oh dear. The SCVs do get out of the way of those Banelings. There's still 6 more waddling their way into that middle line, and it is a very full middle line. 2 links harassing them, a couple of SCVs. He's splitting as well as he can at the minute, but 2 more Banelings could just finish off this
Ziroy's
game.
clinging on for dear life, but he cannot bring this back now at this stage. There's no units left except a solitary Banshee, and a single plane can defeat the whole army, but the whole army has crushed the base, and Figaro takes the second game in style.
Absolutely, I mean, that was a really interesting build by Ziroy.
That's an unusual build.
That's
You
an
do not
unusual
normally
build.
see people do that.
I don't think that's a build Figaro has practiced against.
No, I suspect quite heavily that that is not the case.
I think he dealt with it very well, though.
Yes,
I
by
was
seeing
very
it
impressed.
and then having units.
Seeing it and then having units. But more importantly, I think he actually managed to squeeze in those rounds of drone production.
Yeah, he did.
Because he had like 1 round of 5 and a round of 6, just the ones I noticed in the production tab. And he was roughly equal with Ziroy and workers for a while. So if he'd overreacted and just gone roaches, I feel like actually Ziroy would have overtaken him just by having more economy, weirdly, in such a cheesy situation.
Well, Ziroy was trying to expand over. Yeah, he was trying to get his second base up and running during the time when he was putting on that pressure, but it just didn't end up actually being functional. It didn't end up working as he'd intended. It's a bit of a shame for our Terran player, who is now, I assume, knocked down into the loser bracket.
He is, where he will face off against the winner of Nabu and Crosis.
Okay.
But speaking of that lower bracket, the next match up is going to be Gamer Richie making a return to stream, facing up against Bazooka.
We got an interview?
We will have an interview, I imagine. I see.
Yeah, we'll have one in the near future.
We'll
we'll have to see if we can not tab around a lot and make the thing work properly and display the right things as it goes along.
Yes, we will do that.
Some people strolling past. Oh no, I don't know if it was that guy, but that guy walking past right now, he might have been the one who I saw carried into the room on that side of us at the end of the night because he couldn't walk anymore.
Oh dear.
He's very small. I'm not sure if it actually was him, but it was somebody certainly.
Somebody. Well, not any of the
It wasn't Gladweiser.
top players we have here.
No.
Professional, 100% guaranteed. Our StarCraft players here, but
yeah.
Let's see. Awesome. Cool. So Figaro is ready for the winners interview. So yeah, we'll hop his face and see what he has to say about his games.
Alright, like as you just said, was walking over. You're not really happy with those games at all. I mean, like, why not? Like, do you feel like he could have played better, or was it just the fact that there's really the last?
I got supply block like every single possible supply block in the first game. And then the second game was just over the second the Lings saw it. So they weren't quite... It was just got very unlucky, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, like it was actually great for you in the end because you managed to catch that mech army out of position and take out all those tanks, which is what would have ruined those Roach Hydra army without the blinding cards as the blinding cards came in towards the end.
Well, interestingly, I had 2 Vipers with full energy, but I thought I just didn't bring them. And if I had, it would have been better. I had 3-3 against currently at the time 2-0, so if I'd gone around the back of the map and thought I was 4th, you'd still have to move his tanks around. The army was way too tank heavy to cope with Roach Hydra Viper, I think. But it was early on in the game when he had timings he could have gone for. He could have gone back and taken a 4th, kept tanks, but instead he made Banshees, which I don't think was the right decision when I have Queen Hydra, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you managed to catch. He tried to move across his map, didn't he? You managed to catch out his four, like quite a few fuel, like 8 banshees and what was it like 3 4s?
I killed 2 Thors, I think, 2 tanks, or maybe it was 1 tank, a few Hellbats, and like 8 Banshees. If those are 8 Banshees, he'd just been him putting into tanks and taking a fourth, he'd be really ahead. Because I had to make units in case he pushed. He thought I'd be droning, but I was not. I couldn't drone because I would lose to anything he did. Like, so yeah, I don't know. It's unlucky for him for sure.
All right, let's discuss the last game. Uh, like when was you actually expecting something that quirky?
I played on ladder 3 days ago, and I actually 15-15'd, and my Ling's pathing didn't go through the center of the map because I do the 15-15 on that map. And I actually changed my overlords up that time so I could send them straight across if he was cross. Usually I have to send one to each of the bases. But I found if I changed my overlord which way I scout, I find that out. So I send them straight across the middle, and when I did it on ladder, they went around where the stuff was. So now I just rallied them to the middle, like directly to the middle. I shift rally them. And then when I saw that, if I got one under the barracks too, it would have been the cheapest win I've ever got. But I didn't. But you're really ahead after you see that. That build completely relies on you never seeing it, or it's just dead.
Oh yeah, I mean, like most of those quirky builds like 2 racks to fire requires scouting so you can prepare for it. Stuff like that. And all right, then. Is there any questions from the casters? All right, game two.
Yeah.
When you scouted the proxy, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, did had you prepared for anything like that, or did you prepare for certain quirky builds like that, or was it just that one game on the ladder 3 days ago?
Honestly, with a 15-15, I would have got to his base and seen the 3 pylon wall and known anyway. It's just really nice that I could block the reactor because then I could drone before making roaches. Basically, I mean, if I don't see that, I have to make Spine Queen if I want to drone, and then you kind of lose the drones with Spine Queen. It's good seeing it, but honestly, against my 15-15 build, which is 15 build, 15 gas, I'm always going to scout it pretty much, unless he kills the Lings, and then I don't know. It's a quirky build, but it expects the Zerg to not scout at all, go hatch first, be complacent, just droning without knowing what the Terran's doing, and then it just insta wins.
Well, like denying that factory from like flowing onto the reactor really damaged his Hellion count. Like, you wouldn't be able. It would have been like a lot higher if you hadn't blocked that.
Yeah, but if you see it, it's not going to do much because you can just make a Roach Warren or Queen Spine, even if he has the Marauders. And you can keep counter-tapping and force the Hellions home. If you saw what I did, I put the Hellions at his pylon wall. Firstly, to deny mining, and secondly, because he was going to send Hellions home, I could go kill add-ons, which is what I did. It was just sort of, like, once you see it, you can just play around it a ton. He's got nothing at home. He's only got these things in the middle of the map. It doesn't matter if you don't drone, as long as you can stop them producing. Because if you kill his army and you have no drones, you stop those producing, he's got nothing at home at all. And then I sent an Overlord and saw 3cc and just added a Baneling Nest. The second I saw 3cc's, Baneling Nest went straight down. So.
Oh yeah, right. And before I let you go, is there any shout outs like do like any people you want to mention?
Shout out to TSI, I guess. I guess there's no one in particular to shout for this game. But yeah, shout out to TSI. It's a good team. It's fun at LAN. That's about all I can say.
Fun at LAN, like no, not fun outside of LAN, but just fun at LAN.
I mean, I don't really play StarCraft. But it's fun. The LAN atmosphere is fun. I guess everyone's fun at LAN, to be honest.
Everyone's fun at LAN. Like get people you don't normally speak to full screen.
Yeah. Especially people like Bimbox, so I don't just play in StarCraft. I play with them on Counter-Strike all the time. Like, we're on Skype. So it's cool meeting people like him and Dave, who I speak to quite a bit.
Well, like it's me, same with me and Spacey Maze. Like me and him play like pretty much loads of games together. And is that everything from the casters? All right, and congratulations, you're on to I believe semis.
Yeah, good playing Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Who is Dave up against? Do you know? Do you guys have any idea who Clarice is up against? Did he beat AC? Dave 2-0 AC. Yeah.
No, I probably did.
All right. And, well, congratulations again. Best get. Well, there's not really much prep to do for ZVZ, but well, for Dave anyway, because he just goes.
Last land where I forget to make a spire. I don't care.
You don't care.
1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. Let's make mutas. Oh wait, I haven't started my spire.
Well, hopefully it doesn't happen like that again. Like, you forget to make your spire and just sit there with a bank of 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. Well, once again, congratulations. I'm going to let you go now. And, all right, then, thank you. All right, and see you later. All right, I'm going to throw it back to you guys now.